which voters should receive mail-in ballots. And it's important in this context to understand that the current Postmaster General is someone who had Trump's support when he was selected last year, according to both the New York Times and the Washington Post. At the time, Congressman Jerry Connolly warned Steiner's appointment would be, quote, blatant conflict of interest and an attempt by President Trump to install a hand-picked loyalist. Well, that warning was then, and here we are now, only about 70 days away from those crucial midterms. And if this executive order is now implemented, you can imagine what that means, right? States have to start early voting. They have to start sending out those ballots. Changing the rules in the middle of the game can cause chaos. Now, the Supreme Court's decision didn't actually address the fundamental legality of Trump's order, and that is really important to understand. So it is a win, though, at least when you look at the situation for now, 70 days out, for Trump, who rails against mail-in voting again and again and again, even though he avails himself of mail-in voting. That's how he votes in the state of Florida. But he calls it out as corrupt and fraudulent to bolster his claims of widespread voter fraud.
The concept of mail-in ballots, it's immediately corrupt.
Mail-in ballots have proven to be a disaster.
Mail-in voting, which is so crooked.
Mail-in ballots are a big fraud. Mail-in voting means mail-in cheating. I call it mail-in cheating.
Mail-in voting, it sounds like bad for thee, but not for me, right? Because as I mentioned, Trump himself votes by mail. In fact, he just did it for Florida's Republican primary. He also did it earlier this year for a special election.
Tell me about mail-in ballots. You mean I used a mail-in ballot? You probably said, yeah, I did.
Why did you
You know
use
what?
that?
Because I'm president of the United States, and because of the fact that I'm president of the United States, I did a mail-in ballot for elections that took place in Florida, because I felt I should be here instead of being in the beautiful sunshine.
But you were in Palm Beach, sir, the last few weekends.
That's right, and I decided that I was going to vote by mail-in ballot because I couldn't be there, because I had a lot of different things.
An argument, surely, that others may also feel they possess. Kristen Holmes is out front, live outside the White House to begin our coverage. And so, Kristen, what is the White House saying about this late-breaking ruling from the Supreme Court tonight?
Well, Erin, we haven't gotten a direct response from President Trump or the White House. We've been monitoring his Truth Social because the officials that I'm talking to say they view this as a win. Now, there are a few complications that everyone is watching closely. One, if this is even going to be possible to implement before the midterms. There are a couple of sticking points here that have many people wondering if this can actually go into effect, particularly when you look at the U.S. Postal Service part of this. There was actually a separate lower court decision that put a hold on this. So there's likely going to have to be more legal action that is brought before the U.S. Postal Service can actually hit the ground running. The other part of this is what exactly this looks like. There should be no mistaking. This is providing federal oversight into the election process, a process that has largely always been constitutionally given the rights to the states, would now have this oversight component from Department of Homeland Security, from the Postal Service. Department of Homeland Security, they are allowed to almost immediately begin compiling these lists of quote-unquote eligible voters. Now, the other thing to look at here is this argument that the Supreme Court justices made when they wouldn't actually touch the legality of any of this, essentially saying that everything that had been presented was just hypothetical. And so if it hadn't gone into effect, they hadn't actually started the process, there was no legal ground for these states to stand on because none of that had actually happened yet. So